Welcome to Diceborn! This is the 17th Shard series where we're playing a game of the Mistborn Adventure Game. We're playing the full campaign. I'm Ben, I'm playing Dervish today, and joining me today is the man who has a coin to tap. You sometimes know him as WeiryWriter. It's Ian!
Hi, I'm Ian. I'm playing Royce. And yes, I have a little coin that I will need to do something with.
I love how we went from Ben, who's hype, and Ian, who's just like, yes.
Oh, indeed. Next is the fandom's favourite Floridian, the one whose dad sometimes watches these shows. If so, hi, Gator Dad. It's Grace.
Hey, I'm Marelyn.
Also joining us today is the lady who I think has her fingers in all of the American fantasy conventions. At least that's the impression I'm getting. She goes great with potatoes. It's Rosemary.
Hi, I play Hallie, and none of us know what is wrong with Ben today. It's the heat stroke.
The heat stroke is really getting to me here, guys. And for our amazing narrator for today's game, it's the GM who loves to play games from AM to PM. It's Natasha.
And I am your Lord Roller.
Excellent. As I said last week, Matt will not be joining us today because he is looking after a brand new baby girl. So congratulations to Matt. And I've heard babies are a lot of work, and so playing games at the same time is kind of difficult. This is episode 9 of our Mistborn Adventure Game series. If you start from this episode, you're probably going to be as confused as a Scadrian who's just learned about evolution. And so for today's giveaway section, I'm going to hand you guys over to Giveaway Ben.
Yo, howdy, how's it going? It's me, Giveaway Ben. I'm back at it again with another giveaway from winners from last week, plus another giveaway for this episode this week. I'm here with the whole of Roshar. We're going to give you a giveaway to win. First things first, I'm going to give you the winner of last week, and their name is Joseph Corrigan. They suggested names based on our now compromised hideout, the Brass Riddle, the Brass Needle, or the Brass Swindle. Congratulations, you, Joseph. You've won yourself a copy of the Mistborn Adventure Game rulebook. Thank you to Crafty Games for that rulebook. Thank you for Crafty Games as well, just making this one a game and letting us play so we can make this series what it is. We've been thoroughly enjoying making them. They are so much fun to play. I highly recommend playing Mistborn Adventure Game with friends whenever you can. Okay, next up is the giveaway for this week, and what we have is 4 copies, once again, 4 copies of the Call to Adventure Stormlight Archive Deluxe Edition, which is the fancy box and fancy art book, and we're giving away another 4 copies of these. So if you leave comments down below, do you know what? I'm not going to ask you guys a question. I just want you guys just leave a comment. Just tell us. Will you just tell us how your day's been? How you been enjoying Diceborn? What's your favorite thing so far? Just you know, let's just you know, just leave a comment. Just leave a comment. Just be a subscriber and leave a comment, and then you're all good. They'll enter you to be one of the winners of the 4 copies of Brotherwise Games' Call to Adventure Stormlight Archive Deluxe Edition. Yeah, then next week I will pick a winner. Oh, also be a subscriber. Next week I'll pick a winner, and then the next episode I'll announce the 4 winners. Don't forget, Brotherwise Games also has their Stormlight Archive miniatures Kickstarter going right now. I don't know if I really need to help them advertise this any longer because it's currently over $2 million on a 50k goal. So their Kickstarter's doing pretty well. We're going to get some fancy stuff with this thing, I can tell you now. The giveaway of the 4 Deluxe Edition Stormlight Archive Call to Adventures games is US only, unfortunately, so we cannot deliver to the rest of the world. This will be US only. Cool. Thank you to everyone for watching. Thank you to Brotherwise and Crafty for the giveaway stuff. And time for episode 9.
Thank you, Giveaway Ben, for that lovely information and things and stuff. So, without much further ado, Natasha, did you want to kick off episode 9 of Diceborn?
Absolutely. Let's get this thing on the road. Or back on the road.
Because we really are.
Yes.
Yep. We're doing a travel. Let's do recap. And I'm going to hand that over to you guys like normal, but we did end off with Luca, I believe, just ditching you all You all still do not know that he slunk away in the night. Well, he did not slink, but he heroically marched off to meet his fate.
With a swish of a cape
knowing Luca, he tried to slink, but was super Luca about it, and did it in a super fancy, over the top clothes, and with a dramatic flourish as he slinks off.
And his giant.
Meanwhile, Ghost is watching the entire thing popping whatever the Skadrian equivalent of popcorn is.
So who wants to do the rest of recap? What happened before then?
I believe we begin that episode.
Oh God!
My goodness, we began that episode with
Hallie going off the rails.
Hallie going off the rails.
Slow motion.
Luca losing his funding.
Well,
this is episode 7 stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember where the divide between 7 and 8
episode 8, I think, opens with our team meeting.
Yes. Where we all sat down and had a go at Luca for coming from a terrible family.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
See, it all just blurs in one clump together. Sure.
I don't know what happened between 7 and 8 at this point.
And Marelyn came clean about her past.
Yes. And
much to Hallie's relief.
Right.
This was Hallie Marelyn's betrayal of the previous crew, which Dervish was mildly miffed about, but ultimately forgiving, understanding.
Right.
We busted Marelyn's father, Eddie, out of not jail because it was spa jail.
Spa jail.
He was detained by security.
Yeah.
Which involved Marelyn and Hallie leading a group of protesters to burst in. We also may have killed a man. We don't know yet.
Don't know if we'll ever know.
I feel conflicted.
I feel that was a highlight for me, the accidental killing of a man.
She just confirmed it.
We did not kill the man. Luca accidentally killed the man.
We did nothing. It was,
I mean, Royce came up with the idea.
Meanwhile, Hallie's just I contributed. So, because it was her muffins.
Yeah.
There was also a private conversation between Dervish and Eddie before Eddie left that Royce totally spied on.
Yup.
Yes. That did happen.
Before then, during the breakout, Marelyn had a confrontation with her former boss, Al, and did a dramatic, soothing flare to terrify him, make him feel nothing but fear. And that flare might have had some effects on Marelyn's magic.
Yes.
And then
we also we decided not to go out into the roughs because we saw burning towns within the basin, and we're
I was wondering when we were gonna get there.
Yes.
We should probably go back and just head off this problem and not let more towns burn.
Because I think
especially slaughter.
Yeah. Luca's family, Luca, not the Ilarials, the family he comes from, the minor branch of the Nichols. The town that they live in was not on the way, but it was just adjacent. So we were worried it was potentially a target, and so I think we're kind of headed. We start heading in that direction.
You're headed to a town that's kind of between the two.
Yes.
To try and head it off. And I was wondering, what are they gonna be oh, we have a moral obligation here to maybe interfere.
We'll just keep going, and then we'll just keep leaving the roughs and be like, man, really sucks about that whole fire burning thing town.
Those 8 towns and all those people and
And there were some conversations between Marelyn and Eddie where they mended their differences, kind of, not really. are on better terms now than when they started.
They renegotiated their treaty.
And
you've reached a level of catharsis, like, to an extent.
And Marelyn also talked with Ghost, and her job now is to make sure everyone in the crew feels wanted so they don't leave.
Yeah. Gotta make sure no one leaves, Grace. That's your job.
I mean, Ghost did intercept Luca. They had a conversation.
They did.
And that was very important because I think had Ghost not rolled high enough and Luca rolled low enough that happened, that would have been a big kerfuffle.
Awkward.
With Marelyn. But we've passed that. It'll be okay.
And then I think now we're just on the road.
Yeah. I kind of feel like Royce and Hallie need to have a conversation at some point, because if he doesn't tell her that he's found the damn coin, she's going to keep collecting them.
I don't know what
feeling
you're
that
talking
Royce is the kind of person that will just keep letting her do that.
Royce is about information acquisition, not information sharing. That is.
Yeah. and that is the other piece. I think at some point it's occurred to Hallie that, maybe he has known a few things for longer than she thought, and now she needs to.
Is Hallie going to have a trust issue maybe with Royce here?
I think not necessarily. Depends on how he answers, but
yeah.
Well, and I do know that there was mention that, like, at the beginning of the session, Marelyn was going to be like, all cards on the table sort of thing, right? And she's like, all secrets out in the open, as the new crew leader.
Marelyn is done with secrets.
Right.
And expects the rest of the crew to be as well.
Yeah, so let's just leap into that, because I feel like this is gonna be good. I'm so excited.
Oh, and I just wanted to clarify, so both Luca and Eddie have now left the party, so it's the four of us, Ghost and Jelly, that are still trapped in here.
Yes. And Jelly seems to have, like, a little bit of spice to her. But like a gentle spice, like a what's that, like jalapeno jelly? Like that you still really enjoy because it's sweet, but then every once in a while it has a little flare of heat.
Get a little tickle on your tongue,
Yeah. I would say everyone enjoys that kind of jelly, but
I really like it personally.
I'm a wimp.
Okay, so new Rosemary fact.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
You're gonna get to read whatever letter Luca wrote up for us?
Yes. It is big and long, and it's great. Speaking of, let's start off with the next morning.
It's worth noting Hallie's spent the night sleeping on top of one of the carriages.
Just on top?
That's what. Yep.
Okay.
It just needs a little space.
Yeah, that's fair.
And it's a nice view.
So the morning comes. Hallie is on top of the carriage. Ghost is poking at the fire. This boy seems to never sleep. The rest of you are rousing slowly, and the birds have, like, woken up. They're starting that, like, annoying but somewhat beautiful calling to each other in the morning, right? First things that you hear. And all the bugs have, quieted down. And you notice that Luca is completely gone. But Ghost seems to not even care.
I'll kind of peek over the edge of the roof. Hey, Ghost. Where's Luca?
He left.
What do you mean he left?
There's a letter.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
You left?
Of course.
Hallie
Wait,
climbs down.
And Ghost, kind of shows this letter that was like tucked under a rock. Who wants to?
I'll. Oh, Royce.
You can if you want. Fish.
I'll take that, and I'll take the letter, and so yeah, I'll give the letter a read, and then I'll pass it round to everyone else.
And the letter reads thus: Dear comrades, sincere apologies for running off without a word. I was concerned that engaging in a series of presumably heartfelt goodbyes would spoil my newfound courage. It has been a privilege to work with and learn from all of you. Thank you for inviting me into your confidence. I've been considering this temporary farewell since we left Elendel, but while I initially imagined feeling conflicted and inadequate stealing away, instead I find myself instilled with a sense of direction, secure in the knowledge that choosing this course I will be serving our little crew to the best of my ability. Dervish, know that I have the absolute confidence that you will ultimately prove victorious and save whatever communities fall in this path of wanton destruction. I know our friends will do their level best to support you in my absence and keep you safe. The martial arts, as you all know, are well beyond my scope of expertise, and I believe that I can do more to contribute to our ultimate goal by being elsewhere. My family's role in the death of Hallie's brother and their impact on the lives of many others cannot be excused. While I am grateful for the patience you all have extended to me in choosing what to do, honestly, it should not have been a difficult decision at all. While my parents were born into a world of glittering jewels and fine titles, I was not. My parents chose to leave that life for a more honest one. All my life, I've been starstruck by the exciting, vibrant, dream world they left behind, but I've allowed myself to be willfully blind to the nightmares that drove my mother and father out of Elendel in the first place. When I came to the city, I thought that chasing that elusive dream was my destiny of greatness. With your help, I realized that my greatest act might be to risk losing it all. I have reason to believe that my grandmother is intimately wrapped up in all of this. Both the deaths at the factories and this business that Rafe is mixed up in with the missing persons. While I'm appreciative of the benefits conferred by her approval, I have honestly enjoyed many aspects of reconnecting with the family history I thought was lost to me. I cannot continue to turn a blind eye towards her behavior in the name of maintaining our relationship. Furthermore, there's something you should know and look into further if I am unable to rejoin you after Dervish deals with his sister. My grandmother may be quite dangerous. The mysterious illness of Jelly's mother and her connection to my family reminded me of a story my father told me of his aunt, Astra Ilariel, my grandmother's sister. She too died of an illness. But there were quiet whispers of foul play. Royce, uncovering more about her death, might help unlock a piece of this puzzle, or at least get us a little further towards the answers we seek. I have the beginnings of a plan on how to gain some leverage over my grandmother, but I will need to confer with my family first. Luckily, our family where I grew up is nearby. After that, I may need to head back to the city. I will leave word with my family, or we'll find another way to notify you so we can link up again in an appropriate moment. Wherever I end up, you should be able to track me down by speaking with Darian and Mara Nickel, my parents, or my sister, Esty. I promise not to enter into any dangerous confrontations until you are reunited. Stay safe, all of you. Best, Luca Alariel. P.S. Royce. It may be good to avoid the flat on return to Alariel. Everything is probably fine, but then again, you never know.
I kind of, when I'm done reading and I'm passing around, I'm just gonna kind of wipe a little tear from the eye.
I think Marelyn's gonna kind of like kneel down next to Ghost and be like, Ghost, I swear I'm sorry, I didn't know, and I would have done everything I could to stop him from leaving. I'm sorry, I already failed you.
We'll come back. He doesn't feel not wanted. I had to ask. He tried to sneak away, but he's not very good at that.
No, he is not.
Nope.
And Ghost kind of takes your hand and he pats it and he says, "It's all right, you can try again."
Thank you.
This kid is too good for us.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to give him a hug.
He hugs you.
Oh.
He's an affectionate child. It's not like he's ever held back on that.
True.
Well, I wish I could say I was surprised. But
Out of character, this from the guy who actually got told in character that he was leaving.
he's got a put on a face.
Sneaky.
Mm-hmm. That's a problem. How are we going to pay for all the stuff we want to do now?
I mean, to be fair, couldn't really do that at present.
That's the point.
If he was here. But
I think we need to talk. I, for one, am tired of secrets and people slipping away in the night, and I am ready for us to just be completely honest with each other. When we were at the spa, something happened. I was facing down Al, and I flared brass, and afterwards, I've been using brass my whole life in cons to soothe people, and now I've used it so much that I am a savant.
I don't know enough about allomancy to understand what that means.
Ghost was about to ask the same thing. Ghost looks at Dervish like.
I was just looking at him like.
There are, in the words of founding, explanations of Spooks, the Lord Mistborn's actions in Urto prior to the Catacendra. When an Allomancer burns and flares the metals to a large degree over a long period of time, it can begin to have an effect. Get stronger, but there are drawbacks.
What kind of drawbacks? And I'm looking at Marelyn now, like, are you okay?
It's fine, I just have this, headache when I'm not burning brass. Everything is just so much, and I need it to, feel normal, but I'm not. It's fine. I've been getting used to it.
Okay.
So, and I'm going to kind of...
If at any point you need assistance with that, Mr. Molly, let us know so that a problem does not grow beyond our capabilities.
And I'm going to kind of individually go from person to person and look them all like in the eyes as I say, I know I've made mistakes, and hiding things from you guys in the past has just led to more harm in the crew, which is why I wanted to be honest about this from the start. No more secrets, not from me.
Well, in the interest of full disclosure, I suppose I also have a confession to make, for lack of a better word. I've been distracted lately. I found something, and Royce will make eye contact with Hallie. Something I lost quite some time ago.
And understanding is clearly reflected in Hallie's eyes. She knows exactly what you're talking about.
Royce will dig into his pocket and take out the copper clip.
This some kind of lucky clip?
Yes. I also have a very important memory stored in it.
And that
something I haven't had for a very long time, and was afraid I would never find again. And it's been occupying my thoughts of late, distracting me from other research I could be doing.
Most pipes up and he says, "But if you lost the memory, how do you know it's important?"
An excellent question, Ghost. Copper fructamy is...
It's weird, kid.
It is weird. It's different than most other forms where it's an attribute is an attribute. Like storing heat, that's simple. Like it is what it is. But there's a lot to contend with in terms of memory. It's like I can store a thing, and oftentimes I can remember that I remembered a thing and that I put it into a copper mind. It's like I can remember, like, oh, I stored the ending of a novel,
yes,
for instance. And I can remember which novel it is. I just don't remember the ending. And with skill, you can store those ancillary memories as well, so that you don't remember. And that's what I did here.
But you have it back now, and so now you know what to do with it.
I haven't tapped it.
Why not?
This sounds important, you know?
Yes. But I've spent so long wondering what was so important that I couldn't even let myself remember the faintest glimpse. Is it something good? Is it something bad? Did I store it because I shouldn't remember it? There's just a lot of questions that could be answered, but I do not know.
One of
Royce.
those
I do not
cases
know
where
whether I would be happy afterwards.
I think it's one of those things where you're gonna drive yourself crazy not knowing until you've looked at it.
There's also the matter of how I found it, or rather how it was returned to me.
Why? What do you mean?
Oh, it was literal divine intervention, you could say.
Hmm.
I mean, I've been methodically collecting these clips, and some figure from history has been hanging on to the damn thing this whole time.
During Luca and I's trip to Luca and my trip to medical labs, while we were searching Rafe's office, I heard a figure walking outside the office and pause outside the door, and I heard the sound of, well, this clip being set down. And that figure was walking on 4 legs.
That just tells me this is even more important that you should know it.
Yes. And I know that.
I have to say, Royce, I have a lot of memories from my past I wish I could get rid of. But I'm glad I haven't. And let me learn from them, grow from them. And so, I don't know who you were when you stored these memories away, but I do think you should get them back.
And
Just
Hallie
kind
is
of-
looking really thoughtful here, and she's like, look, so you're more worried about what this might have said about who you are than actually the information in that coin, aren't you?
Little.
It's not it's copper, it's not aluminum. Memory is only a piece of who you are.
Yeah, it's. It's like I'm not afraid I'll become a different person by it. It's that. It's not. Like you said, it's not how copper works. But I've built this up so much in my head over the years that I'm almost afraid to let it go. To let the various possibilities collapse into a single reality. And also, it might be something really bad.
I'm gonna put my hands on Royce's shoulder and just be like, whatever it is, we're all here right now. We can help you.
Genevieve kind of pauses and then asks, "And you're sure it was for you?"
Ferrochemist can tell when a metal mind is theirs.
Yeah, I can tell it's a store. It's a reserve I created. And
It could help you. If what's holding you back is fear, it could make it go away.
Royce considers that for a moment. But
Hallie just kind of shaking her head.
I appreciate the offer, Mr. Molly, but perhaps this is something I need to do for myself. And I have the coin.
Yes.
And everyone but Royce takes their headphones off.
Oh boy. Hey,
God, I'm terrified right now.
This can be great. I'm actually going to have you role play through this with me.
Okay, interesting.
So the memory is actually from a time shortly after. It's during your college days.
Mhm.
And it's shortly after Luka broke up with Rafe.
Okay.
Or, well, Rafe broke up with Luka.
Mhm.
And Rafe is standing at the door of the apartment that you and Luka share.
Mhm.
And he says, "Oh no, it's okay. I've actually come to see you."
Okay. We've not interacted overly much while you've been dating Luca. What
No.
brings you to, well, my door, I guess? In this
He adjusts his, ascot and says, "Can I come in?"
Of course. Have a seat.
And he makes sure that the door is shut behind him, and he sits down and he says, "I do not want Luca involved with what is happening with his family. And the only way I could think of preventing it was to break up with him."
Does this version of Royce know what Rafe is talking about? Like, in, specifics?
Not specifics, but enough. At this time, he's probably already known about, the whole owning the factories and, other similar things that kind of makes him...
They're sketchy.
Yeah, they're sketchy. They're not great people.
Yeah. Okay.
And he says, "They approached me the other night about proposing to him. And it would have been a very good thing for the families, as far as political and financial and all, but I couldn't. It would have entrenched him too far, and he's Luca."
He is. Do you love him?
Of course. Were it not... Were it not for everything that... I can't say too much without risking you as well. Or without...
And forgive me, if this isn't the direction you want, Royce would say something along the line, probably reach into his pocket and take out the clip and say, "You can tell me as much as you want. I don't have to remember it."
And he says, "Royce, they're silverists." Sliverists? sliverists. They're sliverists. They are... Aideen, especially, is determined to bring back the days of the Lord Ruler. And
That's concerning.
I can't tell you how I know this, but they have a small portion of 18.
Oh,
They're just waiting for the right time to use it.
but how could they? Like, fears don't exist anymore. Like, Mistborn don't exist.
He shrugs. He's like, all I know is they have it. And this has been in motion for generations. This is not... This is not a small thing. And
I expect not.
Luca's parents were right to leave when they did, and it would have been good for him to have stayed gone. And Royce, if you need more of a reason to keep it quiet, I believe I know who your mother is, and I will tell you if you keep Luca out of this and keep him safe.
And in this moment, like, a spectrum of emotions does cross Royce's face. What are your plans with all of this? Are you just going to go along with your family?
I'm going to get as close to it as I can and see if there's a way to do anything about it. But it will take time. Years, probably.
I will do what I can to keep Luca out of things. I'll do what I can. I think I would, regardless. I am, as you said,
I know you care for him
Luca.
too, and I know you're a decent person.
Thank you. I don't know how effective I will be, but I will do what I can. But I'm only going to be doing what I already would do, so you do not know anything to me currently. If she wanted me to know who she was, I would know who she was.
Perhaps. But like I said, they're trying to bring back the days of the Lord Ruler.
Perhaps, as you said, years down the road, I'll be tapping this copper mind, and you'll have an ally in me. And I hope. Yep, okay. And then, like,
That's a good place.
in the memory, ice begins to store, and it's like,
Yep. And it fades out.
Okay.
That was so curious to watch.
We're just like gossiping away in the planning channel. Like
I don't know. I have to
Oh, yeah,
go
I
look
did.
at what's happening in the planning channel.
We were trying
also,
to.
now I do have to mention that Ben's idea was that I was secretly a Kendra. I'm like, I don't think that's how it works. I don't think I'm going to spontaneously. I think I would have figured that out by now.
You've stored all your memory of being a Contra. That's what it was, obviously. And that's obviously what you're about to reveal to us, right? Right?
that's
Nah.
it's an awful lot of memory stuffed into one clip.
Yeah.
I don't know. Ian is clearly a world hopper.
Yes. Yep.
Now Ian's just like, what do I do with this information? So for you guys, just to know.
Reading the backlog, because like I
Oh, okay. So just so you know, I had him role play out the memory.
We suspected this.
It's just what we figured was going on eventually.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. We're good. We're good. We're
I
good.
hope that was satisfactory, Ian.
Yes, it was.
And the
And-
play and the listeners as well, you know.
And meanwhile, the rest of us are like, we need to know.
No, but we're all there, so we can just be
Exactly.
like,
He's going to tell us straight away.
Sure.
Yes. Well,
You right there, buddy?
yes, it's not as bad as I thought. Though,
Oh, good.
now I regret some of our actions at the medical lab.
Uh-oh.
Rafe is not as bad as we may have thought he was.
Oh, how do you mean?
Well, he broke up with Luca to protect him. Which is, for present me, not entirely surprising based off of what I've observed. But would appear this whole situation is much larger than we thought.
Well, that sounds about like the way our luck's been going lately.
Most notably, Rafe claims that Adine and her associates are sliverists.
I mean,
They are plotting to bring back the days of the Lord Ruler.
kind of hard to do that when he's dead.
He also claimed they had some amount of atium, though I don't know if I entirely believe that. And I also don't know what purpose it would serve, who could use it.
Yeah, you'd
A
need to be.
Mistborn or full Fruit Mist.
Grace, will you roll me a wits?
Yes, I will. I have a feeling I know what this wits is, sort of.
And if you feel you know, you can totally just role play through it. But
Okay. Is this to remember? I don't know. But I don't think I was there for like the part of the conversation that I'm remembering, so I don't know if
yeah, then
what
it's
you're-
not. You were there. You were there.
I was. Oh.
Falling all the way back to episode 1.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember. I don't know which was like my conversation with them and which was like.
Oh,
what
that's
they said to
true.
Adeline.
That's true, because Luca wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
That's true. That's unfortunate.
Because I think
which one doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No.
God, I'm going to have to go back and rewatch episode 1 now.
Yeah.
Shame.
Yeah, we would need Luca, I think, to figure that one out.
But you did put it together. Proud of y'all.
I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, I'm like, if someone wants to explain it for the audience.
Okay, so to explain it for the audience, at the very beginning, episode 1, Marelyn pretends to be an ATM misting.
Yes.
And the people that she pretends to be an ATM misting for are Sven Hastings and Mirabelle Svant.
Yes.
And afterwards, right, they go to Luca's grandmother's, and there's the whole thing of, yeah, we were, waylaid by, this woman claiming to be an ATM misting, and, we sat with her, and then there's reference of, well, she's not, I slipped something in her drink.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. So
Yeah.
there's nothing more. Okay.
That kind of test, though, man, that's quite a waste of a very rare metal that's not even supposed to exist.
How else will you find an ATM misting?
Yeah.
If they even exist anymore.
Yep.
Or,
Do they exist, but they just don't have the metals, so how do you know?
or are they electrum mistings?
I was just, we're not bringing up the Electrum ATM thing in this Diceborn episode. That is, we have a podcast on that.
Burn ATM.
I purged that vertebrae from my memory. You just brought it back.
You put it in a coin and threw the coin and put it in the
Okay.
Oh boy.
Right, where were we? So,
Good times.
yeah, Royce was telling us that we may have got ourselves in for something bigger than we thought.
I think I should really be decoding some of those plates.
Wait, you haven't done that yet?
I told you I've been distracted.
How did you learn this to put it in the coin?
Yeah.
I had a conversation with Rafe. I stored the conversation.
But when was this conversation? How long ago?
It's shortly after they broke up.
Okay.
Years ago.
It's good to know. Because I don't keep track of when they broke up.
I didn't. But Hallie's sitting here thinking, I didn't think Luca was old enough to have broken up with someone years ago. But
It's like it was when I was still at university.
Okay.
And Royce is 26.
Yeah, it would have been like 4 or 5 years ago,
Probably 5-ish, yeah.
Wait, how old is Luca?
He's 23.
Okay, in my head he was 21. I was like, that is a young relationship. Okay.
Yeah.
23, 24. I think 20.
Luca would have been, little freshy.
Yeah. Okay.
adorable little Luca-ling.
A Larry Link.
Neither of those words work.
We may have an ally in Rafe. He did not approve of what was going on, which is why he broke up with Luca to get him out of it. But he was gonna get as deep as he could. Which, given his position, he likely got quite into the thick of things.
So he's not stuck. He's investigating.
Interesting. Do you think he'd be annoyed?
Too bad Luca's not here.
Oh, we need to get Matt back on the show. Oh man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you-
I knew Rafe wasn't that bad. Like, I got good vibes from Rafe. I'm like,
do you think he'll be annoyed I threw a Molotov cocktail at his building?
he should be.
Okay.
He should not have done that.
Okay.
I'm annoyed about that.
Well, we'll have to give it a go when we get back to Elendil anyway.
Yes.
Go.
Putting an awful lot of faith in a man you spoke 2 years ago who was involved in kidnapping a woman. Alright, I understand that him helping us would be good, but I'm not.
And
convinced.
long enough do we know we can still trust him.
Perhaps he's been converted. Well, there's always hope.
Yeah. So, should we get back on the road?
Ghost leans forward and he goes, "Are there not any other secrets?" And he looks at Dervish, he looks at Hallie, he looks at Jelly.
Royce will make eye contact with Dervish and say, I think that's all for today.
Yeah. I mean, I think I've told you guys the story about what happened between me and my family, so I don't think I have anything else to hide.
Hallie didn't say anything.
And Ghost just says, "All right, let's pack up camp." He stands and he kind of kicks the dirt and he says, "No one wants to know my secrets."
I was just about to ask if Ghost had a secret for us.
Yeah.
But we're not going to ask for your secrets. If you wish to share them, you may.
And he looks over his shoulder as he's shoving his sleeping bag into the rucksack, and he's like, "Another day." He's gonna be spicy about it now.
Yeah.
Hallie just looks amused. She's like, you know what? In her head, she's like, I'm starting to like this kid.
Hey, and I think that's a great place for a break.
That is. Oh, man.
Yep, and 100% of the information was conveyed.
I'm
As we
sure
said,
it wasn't.
0 secrets remaining. There you go. We're all done out of secrets.
It does not
Technically-
concern you. All the relevant information is there.
I feel like at this point, anything Hallie is holding back is just entirely personal information.
Yeah.
Just
Marelyn
has nothing to do with anything.
Marelyn technically has another secret that could be relevant, but it's not in I am intentionally holding it back sort of way. It's to me, this is not important information. I don't believe this.
It doesn't
sort of way.
feel relevant.
Yeah, it doesn't feel relevant. I, as a player, am this is irrelevant, but I'm Marelyn would not think it is.
And that's how it should be. That was the intention of that secret. So
I'm not going to comment on the importance or the relevance of my secret.
right, so back into it. You hit the road. Is there any conversations you all want to have while you are traveling to this next town?
Royce would say he needs to concentrate, and he's digging into his metal mind and trying to start decoding the plate that we found.
The plate. Okay, specifically the plate. Will you give me a wits, please? And this is not information acquisition. You already have acquired the information.
I don't have anything to add to this. So, what is the difficulty?
This is going to be a difficulty of... Oh, wait, you are decoding it from... Not decoding it, you are translating it.
Yes.
Right.
Can he add that, because he has the metal mind with all of the Verukamists research in?
Yes,
Can he
you
add
can
that
add-
as a dice?
Can add 1.
Okay.
Yes, that's a good point. Let me check my little
Cheat sheet.
chart here. Yeah, my little chart that actually gives me percentages. Because, I like that.
It's very handy.
Then it allows me to go like, oh, well, that's too hard. Let's do 3 dice. Or 3,
Difficulty of 3? Okay.
difficulty of 3. Yes, sorry.
Okay.
I am dealing with a bit of a migraine today, so my brain is doing the bloop bloop.
3s exactly.
Perfect.
Nice.
Yeah, so I will tell you what happens with that when we get to the end of the journey to the town.
I approve.
Because you're decoding it during that time. Is there anything else anyone else is wanting to do during the ride?
I think during the ride, Marelyn kind of at some point chats with Ghost and gives like a whatever your secret is, you're still part of the crew, we still accept you, like, you don't have to hide it sort of speech.
That's adorable. Is that because like she wants to know his secret, or is that because she's wanting to make him feel wanted?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
Meanwhile, no.
Give me a charm roll. And we'll make it a difficulty. We'll make it a difficulty 3, mostly because now he's being spicy. He's being spicy ghost. He's being a ghost pepper.
Is this like in the carriage with Royce, or is there one carriage, or is there 2?
In my head, there was 2. That's a good question.
And I would also like who is driving the carriages?
Because I'm pretty sure I'm
Also,
driving.
we don't have as many people as we used to.
Yeah, but also not going to leave a carriage in the middle of nowhere. I don't know.
Yeah. I see. In my head, there was always 1, and a couple people were like walking, but like we did say carriages, so like.
We just have all of us in one carriage, and the second it's filled with Luca's luggage.
That seems accurate. Yeah, that seems accurate. That like the people would be in the one and the luggage is in the other.
Because Royce would probably, if he's hearing this conversation, he will like be a little distracted, and I'm like, oh, I kind of want to hear this. Like, with that, while like still like pretending like he's like off in the zone. I'm just like, I know if I just look like I'm fine, people will ignore me.
Ooh, very nice.
Ooh, I got 3s and a nudge.
Perfect. And he says, "Are you sure? You won't try and send me back?"
No, never.
Promise.
Promise. Hold out my pinky.
Is pinky swearing a thing on Scadrial?
It is now.
Apparently.
Anything that exists on Earth exists on Scadrial. It's the Earth analog. Instant noodles will exist on Scadrial.
So close.
And he says, "Everyone just kind of assumes that I don't have parents. But I do. I just have a lot of siblings, and I don't like them much.
Hallie, who has been sketching away in a notebook, kind of looks up and is like, do they know where you are?
I left a note.
Oh, we are in so much trouble.
They don't want me anyway. It's okay.
Do they normally not notice when you go off for long periods of time?
No. I hang out at the Broken Ladle a lot.
Hallie gives him pulls into her bag and gives the kid another piece of taffy.
And he takes it and unrolls it and eats it.
Okay, well.
And he just says, like I said, I have a lot of siblings. They don't really notice.
We will go and talk to them when we get back, but you're staying with us for now.
And he seems to, relax just a little bit.
Hallie goes back to her sketching. She's essentially trying to come up with potential, defensive ideas. She's, utilizing her build stuff knowledge to try to, what kind of things can we throw together quickly that can give us some sort of cover?
Give me a wits of 2.
Can I add my mechanic into that?
Yes.
All right. Wits of 2. Wits plus mechanic. 7 dice. Yeah, I think I'm good there.
That's 5.
You like big dice pulls and cannot lie.
I made it twice. I got 2 3s and 2 5s.
Beautiful. Yeah, so you will have prepared schematics as a burnable item to fortify this town when you get there.
Okay.
You'll obviously have to adjust, based on what you find, but you do have an extra.
Yeah, and at some point, since if Dervish is driving the carriage, I'll probably sit up next to there and ask him questions about how the clan usually carries out these sorts of things, so that I can build that into the ideas, so that I know what their tactics are, that we can defend that.
Perfect. And I'm going to say Jelly is driving the other carriage just for hand wavy GM purposes.
Elimination. So Jelly is driving the other carriage. I was going to say, that's handy you're talking to me, Hallie, because I wanted to ask one of the fairings a question.
Yeah.
Because I don't know a huge amount about Almisuvarugmi. And so, whilst you're up talking to me about things, Hallie, I'm going to be like, so this, you and Royce, you guys are fairings, right?
Yeah.
And what could you? Do I hear that fairings? You guys have enclaves in the city.
Terrace, more like. It's not everyone who's a ferrochemist lives the life of a terrace person, and vice versa. So, the village, these. Every once in a while, they try and reach out to my mom and convince her that she needs to move in there, and she declines because she left the other enclave. Because there are cities out around the edge of the basin that are primarily terrace.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's where my mom grew up, but mostly the village has given up trying to have anything to do with me because, well, I'm me. She kind of grins. But they do have some candy makers in there that make the best damn saltwater taffy you've ever had.
Okay. And so these are just kind of it's like a little town inside the city kind of thing.
Yeah. It's more of a ethnic enclave than anything, but there's plenty of rumors about how there are certain groups, particularly the Synod, who are trying to learn more about some of the weirder points of Farakemi.
Okay.
But I don't really have much to do with them.
That's fair. Yeah, just think it would be nice if Colossus Blooded had something like that, you know? Why don't, as I say, why don't you guys want to be involved in them? Why don't your parents and you?
Well, their way of life is just kind of boring.
Not like ours, hey?
Yeah. Sometimes ours is a little bit too exciting, but it is what it is.
Okay. Cool. Thanks for scratching that itch. I was curious.
I thought he was going to ask stuff about actual Farakemi, but no.
Nah. I got other things on my mind.
It's a good thing you asked Hallie that question, not Royce.
I was curious about
Royce was like, I don't know.
I was sitting there and I was like, which one do I want to ask? And I was like, trying to work it out. And then, oh my God. I got
Ask
Hallie
the
then.
one who has a parent who grew up in one of these enclaves.
Yeah. I don't think I know anything about Royce's parents. I don't think I know.
I'm trying to think, like, how...
Don't we know that one of them died under mysterious circumstances?
Yeah, his father did.
Yeah. I was trying to work out which
like, in
Dervish knows.
character,
Yeah.
do you know that?
That's what I'm trying to work out what Dervish knows about Royce's
Yeah.
character.
I'm
'Cause,
sure
like-
they vaguely know that. Like,
Yeah.
it was
It's like-
probably mentioned by Luca at one point.
Yeah, it's like...
Yeah.
Like, that would be my gut instinct.
It would have been mentioned that, like, his father was dead. And it's only recently that, like, hey, it might not be, like, freak accident you thought it was. There would no mention of his mother.
Go.
Natasha, at some point, I don't know when would be appropriate, but I would like to spend an advancement to add a trait. And I don't know how to describe this. I want to add, like, sisterly aura to her. Like,
Oh, brilliant. Yes. I think now is a great time to do that.
I want to spend 4 advancements to add sisterly aura. I guess that would be under personality.
And I should similarly do something. I should, instead of getting the new trait, I need to trade out probably prickly for just sassy. And I think that's 2 advancements to switch a trait. So I'll go ahead and do that. That way we're a bit more in line with the way Hallie is acting these days.
Perfect. Okay, so before I get to telling what's on the plates, is there anything else that you guys want to chit-chat about in character? Nope.
No, I think Marelyn wants to talk to Royce, but sees that he's distracted and
He's busy.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna say that you travel probably like, does like a day or 2 sound reasonable? Right? I mean, because you did the day by train, right? And now you're backtracking, so like, but you're using a carriage rather than a train. Like that, in my mind, that feels right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like we're also
We'll say
like,
that.
carriages are slower than walking, and it's like we're also like have to go by the road, so it's like to like
Yeah.
get to a town, like it's plausible.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's been a little while, and the town is on the horizon, right? And you've seen a few road signs, and Hallie, you recognize the name of one of these road signs. After your brother passed away, they sent out like don't know that invitations are the right word, because like invitation sounds like a celebration, right?
Yeah.
But like it was they were invitations to his funeral, right? To come attend, the his burial rites and all of that or whatnot.
Yeah.
And you recognize the town name on this. And you know that some of your cousins and aunts and uncles have settled here to farm, which is the line of work that you originally came from. But yeah, so a little tidbit for you.
Yeah. I did in fact gather you some names.
Okay.
We've got one aunt and an uncle by marriage, and their 3 kids.
Okay, perfect. So I will have you give me those. I'm ready.
Okay, so her aunt is Salva, Sauva.
Sauva.
Yep. We have
Salva.
an uncle of Albar, Albar. I did a search of French names and then mangled them.
Sounds good. And their kiddos.
And I mean, these kids are probably going to not be that much younger.
Older. Right.
Older or younger. I mean, they're around in the same age bracket.
Yeah, they're older children. Yeah,
right. So
adults.
they've got a pair of twin boys named Remy and Rodolphe, and a daughter named Gavel.
Gavel?
Yeah, Gavelle. Like I said, I took French names and I mangled them. Because
I love Rodolphe. Oh, Rodolphe.
Rodolphe.
Yeah.
Rodolphe. It's a good name.
Perfect.
Rodophe.
Oh, I just said
Because I can.
RODOF.
No. And Remy is Remi.
Perfect. Yeah, so you do know that that family lives here. However,
and now suddenly she has yet more motivation to make sure this town doesn't burn.
yes. Other than, people. And
yeah, so when that sign goes by, Jenna gets a funny look in her face. She's like, uh-oh.
Are you still up front with me?
I mean, might be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we'll say yeah.
Yeah.
What's uh-oh?
I think I've got family in this town.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
The good kind of family or the bad kind of family?
They're going to be really, really happy to see me kind of family.
Okay, so that's the good kind of family. It's bad that they're in the town that we're about to. We're worried is about to be attacked.
Out of character, I do want to point out your sister was really happy to see you.
I know, that's what I was thinking.
That is a good point. She was,
Happy.
You gotta understand though, I think this is my dad's sister, and they write letters, and my parents don't know what I do.
Oh, so it might be a bit strange for you to turn up.
It's going to be. As far as my parents know, I'm out of town on business. We've got our GM over here going, did I plan this? Did I not? Either way, this is fantastic.
Well, okay. Well, hopefully we can come up with an excuse as to why you're the one bringing them this news, and why you're there.
Yeah, I think the best case scenario is my parents that wind up thinking I downplayed the danger of what I'm doing.
I don't know, if you need to, just blame me somehow. Just be like, oh, it's this Kolos-blooded guy. I mean, it is my fault, so that we're in this mess.
A way that I can explain to them. Hallie's just actually getting rather distressed at this point because she's just like...
Dervish has no idea how to play family politics. This is not...
Yeah.
It's like... And she'll kind of explain, it's like, I don't know what it's been like these last few years. I mean, I've been playing a role basically everywhere, and I'm doing it less now, but I've been playing that role for so long, I'm not even sure I know who me is anymore. But at home, it's different because I'm not pretending to be who I pretended, I'm pretending to be who I used to be. And it's like walking on eggshells all the time because my parents are trying to pretend like everything's perfectly normal. And they're so freaking fragile. It doesn't take much to just, snap them into a meltdown. I'm about to walk into one of their nightmare scenarios for me, so this is great.
Well, we can find a way that they don't find out then.
Yeah, you haven't met my aunt.
True, very true.
Hey, meanwhile,
I apparently missed the gossip gene, but nobody else did.
it was one of those reverse psychology things, where everyone around you was doing it so much, you're like, I'm just not going to be like them. I'm not going to be like the rest of my family. I'm going to hold everything inside. Meanwhile, Royce is in the carriage, and he finishes translating this plate. And the further and further into it he gets, the more and more distressing it gets. So Royce, the plate details hemalurgy.
Oh, this was not one of the plates we thought it was.
No.
Okay.
I'm kind of glad I melted it now.
Yeah.
And the creation of hemalurgic spikes. And just like we know in the past of, the other plates that were found that was X number and series of, 5 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
At the bottom, there is a map.
Okay.
But this map is not present day.
Yeah. This would have been an old Empire map.
Yep.
Yep.
Can I basically I want to check in the unsealed metal mind of Saren's. I want to check because you said that one also had memories of plates stored in them. Are the plates there part of this sequence, or were those
plates?
Those are the ones that are known
Yes.
to have existed.
Yes. And they have all the same similarities, right? Where they were found, and, it's just these were the ones that weren't found?
Yeah. Like, this was not part of that circuit.
No, it's a different circuit. Yeah.
I'm trying to, like, how much would Royce know about hemalurgy? Like, not much. Because, like, that's kind of...
He knows a lot more than he did now.
Now he knows a
Yeah.
lot.
Probably a lot more
It
than
would
he
be
wants to
enough.
know.
I think it would be enough to connect what
Oh,
was
definitely.
going on in the medical labs.
Does it mention, like, anything about, like, hemalurgic constructs like Candra or Kolos? Like, do I have enough to make that connection?
Yes, because the last few lines are about that.
Okay. Certain things make more sense. Now Royce is on the same page as me.
Yeah. Royce has now connected some dots.
Yes. But Dervish, have you mentioned the name of hemalurgy to us? Like, in terms of, like, the conversations we've had, like, how much have you shared?
No, I think I just, the only thing I mentioned was I asked about the wounds that you found on the corpses. I never said anything about hemalurgy. I just said, did it look like they were spikes? They were exit wounds or entry wounds?
Okay.
And this would have talked about the spikes, and trying to remember what was discussed.
When?
Who knows? So, who knows that Dervish's sister has the spikes, right?
I think that's one of the things Dervish told us.
Yeah, everyone except Royce.
I mean, I know it now, because...
But yeah, when we were in the room, she mentioned the spikes when we were in the room.
Yeah, she specifically mentioned them.
Yeah.
And she has them tied to her belt.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, that's what was on the plate.
Okay. I'm like...
Yeah, so essentially it's like hemalurgic spikes, blah, 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 here's about them, here's kind of how they're created, like mini lesson. And then, they're also found in Chandra and Kolos at the bottom. More on that, later, essentially. And then here's the next map.
Consult plate 3 for that information.
Yeah.
Right.
Just like, is Royce going to make the connections I'm currently making?
Is Royce going to share this information?
You could always
Yes.
roll to see if Royce makes these connections.
That's true. I mean, it would be a wits roll. And Royce does have a pretty high wits.
I have 5 wits.
Well, he has 5 wits. He has a plate. And has he read the word? Well, I guess it wouldn't be in the words of founding.
Yeah. Like, I'm just like,
There's a lot this episode that it's like, all the pieces should be starting to like...
There are lots
Yeah.
of... Yeah.
I no longer feel guilty about melting this plate.
No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. I was anticipating that eventually you would destroy it regardless. And that's part of why her father never wanted it to
Right. Just not
get
as,
out.
not as quickly as I did.
Right.
okay. Then, having, like, finished, like, he's just gonna sit there for a moment and then kind of, like, stick his head out the window. It's like, Dervish, pull over for a minute. We need to talk.
Okay. I pull over. The horses, I guess. Pull over.
Ghost goes,
Over, is
is it snack time?
No, Ghost, it is not, unfortunately.
Yeah, what's up? I'll get down and I'll kind of
come round to the side where you guys are.
Hallie will hop down behind him.
And Jelly comes up and she's like, "What's going on? Why are we stopping?"
I finished decoding the plate.
Oh, excellent.
Plates?
Yes. She's a noblewoman. Like,
A long story.
It's, you remember the plates the Ascendant Warrior found in the caches left by the Lord Ruler?
Of course.
Yeah. This isn't one of those, but it's from that time.
Don't worry about how we got our hands on it. So don't worry about the part.
It describes hemalurgy. And Royce is looking directly at Dervish.
In what way does it describe hemalurgy?
Graphic detail.
Oh. Okay.
It's not good.
No.
So you're saying that I shouldn't feel bad about having melted it?
No. That was a very good thing.
Yes, I agree.
It's a very good thing that I did not get hold of this.
Yes, this certainly lends a lot of credence to what Luka told us.
Sounds like something that nobody should have.
Well, there's certain groups of people that we kind of need to know a little about it.
Yes. Your sister has been killing a lot of people on her way out the basin. How likely do you think she is investing those spikes?
I don't think I've ever heard of anything like that happening. I'll look at the other two and be like, so, I mean, you heard her mention the spikes when we spoke at the auction. As Kolos, we come from hemalurgic constructs from the I mean, you guys know what a Kolos was. We actually, as a people, we still hold on to the spikes from the past. Different clans have different ways of handling them. Some of them don't use them at all. Some just use them for, in dire circumstances. I come from a group where we would our leaders, we were led by people with them. It was a rite of passage into leadership was to take on the spikes. But as far as I'm aware, we don't know how to make new ones, or make them stronger. That's as far as I'm aware. But if you found this info, it's possible that she may have found it.
There's another complication about this town that I realized as we passed a sign. The town we're heading towards has some of my extended family living there.
Why is that a problem? Are they like Dervish or I's family?
No, my aunt is just gossipy, and my parents don't know I'm part of the thieving crew.
What do they think you do?
I'm still mechanic.
Well, when we show up, we will tell them that, I am in sales. Dervish can be our bodyguard and escort for this trip.
He's the muscle.
Royce can be the money guy.
And we have to come up with a plausible reason for being here, which maybe the actual reason we're here is that we saw the fires and we saw that it was approaching this area and we thought we needed to intercept. because they needed to know what was coming.
Jelly, do you have any skills that you could lend for a cover story?
What is we're in sales?
We are a traveling mechanic service.
Well, I don't think so. I mean, honestly, Jelly has a cadmium misting, and she's a noble woman. I don't know what to do with that. and I'm a GM who can make things up.
She is, and she's also not in the best state of mind at the moment as well.
Yeah, it's okay. You can hold a wrench. I can tell you what to do to make it look like, well, you know what you're doing.
Okay. And Ghost can be my little brother who I didn't want to leave behind in Elendil all alone.
Or he could be an apprentice.
Or that.
Right.
Was there any more, Royce?
No, I just thought we should. No secrets. We should.
Are you going to tell them that there's more plates? Are you saving that?
I would say that. I would say like there are like implications that this was one of a series. That was genuinely like me, like not forgetting to share that. Like Royce would share that.
Okay.
He wouldn't. I don't think he would say there's a map. He would say there's an implication there are more.
Okay.
Okay, so it is possible she got this information from elsewhere. You know, the roughs are large, and I think you guys would be surprised at how far the Kolos have spread out over there.
The world is certainly larger than we thought it was just a few years ago.
Absolutely.
So, you approach the town. It's probably late in the afternoon. Most people are still out in the fields or working, finishing up working. And, you know, there are some small kids, you know, running around in the town. You know, they've been, you know, released from their activities because it is later in the day. And as you roll in, you know, it is a small town, so they don't necessarily get visitors often. It's not like, you know, it's not like they were expecting anyone or anything. But people are kind of giving you that, like, little bit of, like, pause and look and then go back to their work. There is a main, kind of like main little square area, right, where you have kind of like where the like mayor lives, and like some, you know, stonework in the middle that, you know, that's like the only stonework here, like the only paved area, right? The most rest is like dirt paths and some like stables for, you know, those who do visit, a general store and those sorts of things, and a small local tavern. But yeah, so what are your actions as you get into this town? What are you guys doing? How are you approaching this situation?
Probably the best thing to do is find some of Hallie's relatives, because they're the best folks to start with.
I'm wondering, like, in character, I'm thinking, like, do we want to approach some sort of authority in the town and get them to prep things, or are we going to try and take care of this just by ourselves?
Don't exactly have much in the way of fighters ourselves.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
There's you.
Yeah.
And maybe if you want to count me, but if our group's second best fighter is the 5'0" girl who happens to have a set of brass knuckles, then we're in trouble.
That's a good point.
I mean, to be fair, there are 3 of them.
Mm-hmm. That's
right?
what I've been thinking. I've been thinking about this for
full-splitted raiders, right? I mean, so it's like this will be a tough fight, right? If it was just you, but there are 3 of them, so it's not like you're dealing with an entire army or an entire raiding crew, right?
There got to be locals with rifles and things
for sure.
Certainly not going to take kindly to raiders coming to their town. They just need to know they're coming.
Yeah, it's prep for them.
And presumably they're going to attack at night.
Yeah. I think that's
of course, because that's when fire looks the prettiest.
I mean, it is when a fire looks prettiest.
It's also the easiest way to sneak up on a town. Lucky for us, we got a tin eye.
Got 2 ties.
2 tonight.
In character, I don't think Hallie knows that Spook is also a not Spook, but Ghost is also a tin eye. Damn you for doing that to us, by the way.
every time, if we ever do that in character, Ghost's little heart's going to explode.
You have done it. Royce has done it in character.
Have I?
I mean, you correct yourself, but I assume it's in character.
He chose the name for himself.
Yeah.
Yes.
He obviously people call him Ghost. Yeah.
Adorable little fanboy.
Yeah. Okay, so Hallie, firstly, do you know how to shoot a gun?
I mean, you pointed at the other guy and you squeezed the trigger. I grew up on a farm, man.
Okay, cool.
We
good.
did do our fair share of, shooting hyenas that came a bit too close.
Cool. Okay, that's good to know. And I'm not even going to bother asking
you teach
Marelyn.
Ghost is like, will you teach me?
I think we need permission from your parents for that.
I'm going to regret telling you this, aren't I?
Probably. But it was still the right thing to do.
Okay, so we'll go
anyway,
to...
Yeah, Hallie is scanning for anyone who looks like they have a family resemblance or that she recognizes.
Yeah, so I'm going to have you roll me a spirits roll.
Of course it is. Do I
you can also roll me a physique as well.
I mean, that's better.
Yeah,
that's twice as good.
I want both. I want both
separately.
Yes,
okay.
We'll have it at we'll have a physique at 2 and a spirits at 3.
And is there anything I can add to either of these? Probably not. All right, so here's the spirit. Nothing. And here's the physique. Okay, I succeeded at the physique.
Okay. So you do. So you kind of hit into the middle of the town, and there are like signs posted. And there is a like a placard with the family name. And I'm not going to say Despazel because...
Yeah, it won't be because it's her...
It wouldn't be, right? But
her dad's sister, but she recognizes the last name.
Yeah,
I didn't come up with that last name because I mangled first names badly enough as it was.
Right. So you recognize that and it kind of points out, out to the other side from where...
All right.
Not the side that you approached on. Words. And as you're about to like kind of head in that direction, you see out of kind of like the mayor's house town hall kind of deal, this kind of like rotund fellow with, suspenders and his thumbs hooked into him, come out, and he comes sauntering out and he says, "Well, welcome to our little haven here. How are you all doing? What brings you to town?"
Right. First thing, Hallie's like, I need Salva and Albar last name. Because they're going to vouch for me knowing what I'm talking about.
Okay, I'm going to give you a last name. Right. I'm going to make one up.
Want me to pull some?
To find a chart.
I was trying to think of French-sounding syllables, and derriere was the first thing that came to mind.
Not everything is French-sounding. There's just a general feel for that.
There's a vibe,
Yeah.
Toulet.
All right.
Rodolphe Tuvet.
Great, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone just calls him Rodo.
Not Dove.
So he says,
or sometimes they call him Remy because they're hard to tell apart because they're identical twins.
What brings you to our little haven here?
Well, we saw something coming. So, and Hallie will launch into the explanation of how we're a mechanic, traveling mechanic shop, and we were doing a job kind of up on the mountainside, and we saw from a distance, there's been some raiders hitting towns around there, and we were able to see the fires from up on the slopes, and it looks like they're heading this way.
Okay. And he just kind of very concerning. Let me trying to decide if this is an influence or a charm roll.
Well, these days my charm is slightly better.
That's true because you're slightly nicer.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can make a charm roll.
Okay. You got a difficulty on that?
Yeah, 2.
Okay.
Dos.
Yay!
Oh.
I got a 5.
Yay! He says, "Well, that." Those 5s are really.
That's 2 5s, 2 3s again.
Yeah, you're killing it out here.
Wasting so many good numbers.
Well, he has his thumbs up in his suspenders. Yes, that is very concerning, and you're certain they're coming this way.
Not 100%, but it sure looked like it. We just made our best guess and headed straight for here, and we're approaching. I saw the town name, and I realized. So I'm not sure Salva and Albar Toulet.
Of course I do. They're
I'm their niece.
Excellent people, excellent farmers. Lovely.
I'm their niece, Hallie.
Well, nice to meet you. Welcome. I'm sure you'll be going to visit them.
I'm going to lean over from the front of the carriage, just be like, and who are we? He's making our lovely acquaintance right now.
And Hallie's like, oh yeah, I am so out of practice with this social graces thing.
And she just kind of pauses and looks at Dervish, who's a Kolos-blooded.
Hey, he's with us. He's a friend.
And he's not
a
spy or something sent ahead.
I've known this guy.
Spies sent ahead.
I've known this guy for years. And my aunt and my cousins will vouch for who I am.
I'm going to look extremely unhappy about the judgment.
He's awfully sensitive. You might have hurt his feelings.
You with your resting colossus.
That's what I'm doing.
Why don't you?
Full
Why don't you give me a charm roll?
Ooh, can I add something for the rest of Colour's face? Oh, am I taking one away?
Yeah, I think that's like a. Do we take away the dice this game? Because I kind of feel like
I'm not trying to threaten him. I'm just very unhappy with him right now with his.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. You're contriving to look
at this moment.
offended.
At this moment, he's deciding how much to trust you.
I'd be okay if you maybe take one away as much as I don't want to.
It's like, how do
Take one
burdens
away,
usually work?
please.
Yeah.
Like, do those subtract dice?
They might.
Yeah,
I think they do,
I think
yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's have you.
I'm gonna roll my 3 dice. What's the difficulty?
Difficulty is gonna be 3.
Oh dear, there's no chance.
And we
There's a
haven't rolled
chance.
enough. No.
That's a 0, but I got a nudge.
Okay, well you can gather those.
Bank that.
He looks very, very skeptical.
I think he really hurt his feelings.
I'm gonna lean back away from like the conversation, so I'm just sat on top of the carriage.
And he redirects his attention to Hallie and he goes, yes, well, I will alert the town militia. I'm sure there's no reason to fear, though. Like you said, maybe they're not even coming this way.
Yeah, but best to prepare for the worst and hope for the best.
I'm sure.
And then she'll whip out kind of her day. It's like, I came up with some ideas on the way over, and I will take these to the militia once you've got them gathered. Because she's just like, all right, I'm an idiot.
I'm glad you're getting the vibes. He says, yes, well, I will gather them straight away after they're done with their duty farming for the day. Everyone should be coming in and sunsetting soon now. We'll have call a meeting. I'll ring the bell. How's that for you?
Bet he really enjoys ringing that bell. She'll mutter quietly enough that only someone burning tin can hear it.
His voice is not doing it.
Oh, and this guy's name is that's a nice little name for him.
Duche. Twattington.
Way to just knock that one on the nose.
Hello there, Mr. Canoe.
Hammond.
Ooh.
I mean, that is a name that people will often name their children.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mal Hammond.
Ooh.
Royce will be looking for, like, what is the highest point in this town?
The bell tower.
From the outside, does it look like, is it like
It's kind of like flat farmland,
Mhm.
and then the little town in the center. Like, it's not, the reason you could see everything was because you were up on the mountains, right? And
Yeah.
this is down. It's
I'm more or less like, is the bell tower open? Like, because like in some places, like you can go in and like you can look out around because it's the high point, or is that like blocked off and it's like only special people can go in?
it's the only special people kind of bell tower.
Yeah, we'll get in there later. Let's go find my family.
Because Mal Hammond really likes that bell.
Yeah.
Special bell.
And bell is his
special bell.
favorite thing.
Okay. So you set off to find Hallie's family. And as you approach the little homestead, you see. Okay, how do you say it? Salva.
Salva.
Okay, Salva. So Salva is sitting on the porch, popping beans out of their little casings. And her husband is out in the field, and she's just busily, shucking those. And she pauses and looks up as the carriage slows down with Dervish in front.
Yeah, Hallie's sitting up there too.
Oh,
Part for
okay.
the best.
Yeah. And she stands up. And Hallie, do you want to give us like a description of what Salva looks like?
So, since this is the side of the family that's not Terrace, they're probably a lot lighter skinned than Hallie is. Hair that's clearly been bleached by the sun probably should be darker than it is. And, she's got that sort of stout, matronly build of a woman who has done her fair share of hard work. And there is definitely a family resemblance there.
The shortness or the
just with facial features.
Okay.
And probably height too, because Terrace are usually fairly tall, but
shortness runs in this side of the family.
Yeah.
So she, kind of stands up and reaches over across the way, to like as if she's gonna grab a rifle because she's just like focused on Dervish. And then she sees Hallie and she sets it back and she's like, Hallie?
Yep.
Hallie! And she stands up and she comes over and she's like, oh darling, your mother sent word that you might be coming through here.
Yeah, it's not as great as you might think though. And Hallie hops down and she'll go over the cover story again about how, we were on a mechanic gig and we saw, because we'd known that there were raiders around and we saw the fire at night and how it looked like they were heading out towards this town. And
Raiders here in Basin?
It's kind of crazy. And I'm pretty sure your mayor's an idiot. So
that's a well-known fact.
Why do you vote for him?
It's more of his family has held that title for so long that we just he elected himself mayor and we all just kind of went along with it. He's fine.
Yeah, he's gonna He's gonna get you all killed if you let him call the shots on this.
Oh no, our the head of our militia is far more competent.
Yeah, but he's wanting to wait to let people come in on their own before he calls a meeting. And
that's no good.
Yeah, I think we need to get started on this sooner. And Hallie then brings out her notepad. I've come up with some ideas on how to put together some defenses. But we're gonna need some strong arms. And
of course. Come on in.
We don't have a lot of time. If they hit tonight, and we don't know how close they are, we don't even know 100% they're coming here. But
did you tell the mayor that?
Unfortunately. So I'm sure
we'll see what we can do.
I figure we should
you would come here first.
Yeah, well, he didn't give us a chance.
Well, he is kind of a busybody, so
And Hallie will introduce folks, and she's like, "Oh, that's Dervish.
Hi.
Don't mind the face. He's fine. He's a marshmallow inside." This over here, that's Marelyn. She's all right. And the kid here, he likes to call him
Chester.
You know him? What?
Or was that Ghost?
That was Ghost. Introducing himself
Ghost
as
was
Chester.
introducing himself.
Yeah. He's a Chester. He's Marelyn's little brother. And then we got Jelly over here, and the pretty fellow over there. That's Royce. We already did sort of establish that she has called him that before.
Yep.
Yes. Mhm. Quick
Pretty
question.
fella.
Can I make a roll to see whether or not that's Ghost's actual name, or did he just come up with a pseudonym?
I think we established it was his
I've called him that before.
actual name.
Yeah, I've called him before.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's trying to act all normal.
I just didn't think we had his name. At period.
No, you definitely do.
We did.
I try to go by
Forgotten it.
Ghost. Yeah, it's you guys have all been calling him Ghost so nicely at his request.
Stop
that
his
you've
spot.
actually
Forgot his
forgotten
real
it.
name.
But it is Chester.
Yeah.
He shares the name of the butler at the Lariel
Yes.
families.
That's right.
Okay. Yes.
And those over there, I don't know the horses' names.
Oh,
Well, that's just fine.
this one's Dinkle, and that one's Smillion.
Thanks, Dervish.
There's more
Did you
horses
say-
than that.
Tinkle?
No, Dinkle with a D, like Dervish.
And she leans over to Hallie and she's like,
Hallie's covering a snicker with her hand.
does he just drive the horses? Is that all he's responsible for?
He does some heavy lifting too. He's
Okay.
he's smarter than he looks, and is currently acting.
I'm just grumbling like they sit me up here for 2 days riding horses and they don't expect me to name them.
You didn't have to come up with names. Hallie was just like, I'm trying to introduce everyone. I'm like, oh right, we don't have names for the horses.
I do. Dervish does.
have names for the horses. Yes. Well, Salva invites you inside and says, "Come sit down. I will ring the dinner bell and have Albar in here in just a jiffy. Give me 1 moment." And she goes out and she rings it, and she's like, "Well, sit yourselves down. And let me, once they're in here, we'll send one of the boys to go deliver messages and start getting people together. We cannot get up into the bell tower. That would be the quickest way to get everyone together. However, only the mayor can do that."
Is it locked?
Hallie?
There's a difference between can and should.
Hallie, I know you've got that little Spitfire thing going on in you, but maybe you've just been away from small town life too long to remember that we don't like to stir up trouble.
Well, on the bright side, if I do stir up trouble, you can blame it all on me and then I'll be gone.
Yes, but then I'll be here. Do you remember that time your niece came in here and rang the bell and got everyone up in a frenzy about Kolos Blooded coming to raid us, and there were no Kolos Blooded coming to raid us? Just, because that would be the way that would go.
Well, at some point, we're going to want to get in there, even if it's after dark, because we're going to need a lookout up there. Because if they are coming, they're going to come at night, and we need warning.
Roll me charm. No, actually roll me influence. This is an influence roll.
Ah, crap. I don't like that. I mean, do I get any bonuses for the fact that I'm right?
You get 1 for the fact that she is family.
Okay. And the difficulty?
1.
1. Okay. Could be worse. Oh, that's
Damn.
nice.
That's a 4.
Solid.
Yeah.
Well, she goes,
And a nudge to bank.
well, right. Okay. Just don't tell me.
Yeah, that's fine. I can get in there. We can get out. And
Just don't tell
if
me.
nothing comes, no one will ever know the difference.
Wonderful. Anyway, as she, as your little chit chat is happening, Albar comes in with Remy and Rodolph right behind him.
Who are
and
virtually
it's like,
indistinguishable unless you know them well.
and it's like they're all chomping at the bit for dinner. And they all pause kind of like in a clump in the doorway. And at the sight of all of you now in their house. And Albar goes, now Salva, what's going on here?
Hallie waves.
And Albar looks back. Hallie, I wasn't expecting you. Your mom said you might be coming. I mean, but Salva talks a.
Yeah, I know. This wasn't planned.
Well, good to have you. Are you joining us for dinner?
Hallie will just break right into the story again.
And like halfway through, Salva goes, we don't have time for that. Like, and she goes, Remy and Rodolph, you go tell, she starts sending them off like down the road to like the various families, like just go send the message. The militia's gathering at the town center, Hammond is at it again. So we're just gonna nip it in the bud. And yes, Royce
wants to
also play.
Study the twins. He wants to be able to tell them apart.
Okay.
I mean, there's usually something, especially
roll.
when they're older like this. There's usually differences you can spot.
It's like,
Oh, sure.
I'm like here where like they are being referenced as like the individuals. Like basically, I want to like study the two. So like if we run into one later on, I want to be able to figure out who it is, which one it is.
Call them by the right name.
Yes.
Sure. Royce, give me a wits roll of 3.
And I add information acquisition.
Sure.
Okay. Twos and 3 nudges. I'm going to spend the 3 nudges, so I can.
Okay. Perfect. So you notice that the one Rodolph has kind of like, it looks like he's broken his nose at one point in time, so it's just like a touch off. It has like just a slight curve in the arc of it.
Okay.
And that's the easiest way to tell them apart.
Okay. Yeah.
I at some point during like our chit chat want to ignore the presence of imminent danger and use this as an opportunity to tease Hallie in front of her family, kind of, and annoy her, and like kind of like sigh and go off a little on my own, and like sort of try to get the attention of one of the family members of like I'm a little off, a little unhappy about something. If I can like lure one over to me.
Hallie is vicious.
Within like all of this within like earshot of Hallie, but like as if I'm kind of trying to beautify myself a little
You're
bit.
like loudly sighing and like pouting. And
So Salva, who has, now sent everyone off, rather than like come over and be discreet with you off to the side, she's like, oh yes, Marelyn, do you have something to say?
I know this is an emergency situation. I don't want to like trouble anyone. I just, I have my little brother here with me, and seeing like you said yourself, Hallie can be a bit of a spitfire, jumping into danger and breaking rules. And I know this is an emergency situation, and if we're going to do that at any point, it should be now. I worry, what sort of influence, this might have on him.
Hallie's gonna kind of look at
smirk
Ghost.
at Hallie when no one's noticing.
Hallie kind of looks at Ghost and looks at Marelyn. And what's going through her head is, honey, that ship is sailed. But
we've been a terrible influence for a long time.
She asked to collect information on this guy who was running a factory.
yeah. I mean, it's just like I've already been the worst influence I could possibly be. I mean, and the thing is, now that Hallie is no longer keeping up the prickly pretense, she's going to be a lot harder to tease. Effectively. But yeah, she's just kind of like.
And Salva says, "Oh, don't you worry about that. She may be a spitfire, but she's all soft and gooey inside." And then she looks at
And now Hallie,
she says, "Now Chester
Hallie's looking uncomfortable.
Now Chester, you should know better than to give anyone sass around here." And for the first time, Ghost goes, and she says, "All taken care of."
Thank you.
That is, of course, what she assumes the bad influence is.
Yeah. I say Dervish definitely laughs at this, and it is like he approves of Salva. This is good. This is good.
Okay. So, and then, Salva busies herself, collecting the rest of dinner and all that, while everyone's out.
And Hallie will get like the last of her picnic basket and like try to contribute, since we've just sort of descended on their house like a cluster of locusts. And
and then she wasn't expecting it. She's pulling out like preserved jars, right? Like, of like soup, and like pouring it into a pot and like, heating it up.
And Hallie just basically offers the remainder of whatever's in that basket. She's like, you know how my mom is.
And
thank you, darling. Yes, I do.
Dervish offers to help cook. Dervish is like, I'm somewhat of a handy in the kitchen myself.
He's actually really good. You should let him.
And Salva just looks very skeptical.
And Hallie lays a hand on her shoulder. She's, trust me, you want him to cook.
I'm gonna grab a carrot and like a knife, and I'm gonna do that really cool chef thing where you like go with a carrot. I'll be like, and then put the knife down.
That's not cooking.
Prep.
She's like, that's not cooking, that's cutting.
Well, I can help you prep.
Let him help. He's good at it.
All right. And so she sits you down, and then she hands you the beans that she was working on. And you're beginning to see where some of this whole like sassy thing comes from.
I'm very much getting that impression, but I offered to help, so I help. Pop out the beans.
Okay. And eventually, the boys return, or one of the boys return. We don't know which boy.
I know which one.
So I have a really big head. So
Hallie might know him well enough to be able to tell him apart herself, but
this is Remy.
Okay.
Remy's returned, and he says, "Should have just kept my book out with the names."
I have them in a little file sitting on my window over here.
She said, he says, Belle's taken over getting everyone together. He said, I thought I'd come back, to eat dinner, and then we could all head out.
And Hallie kind of looks at him and she's like, "Where's Gavel?"
Oh, she got married.
Well, that makes sense. Does she not live here anymore?
Well, she doesn't live with us. She lives down the road.
In town. But yeah.
Yeah. She lives down the road. Rudolph is there now, or that was on his route. Probably why it's taking a bit longer.
Yeah, she can talk up a storm.
So, did you say the
He
bell?
goes, runs in the family.
Did you say the bell's been rung, or the bell's? What did he say?
Oh no, I can see your confusion. So Bell.
I'm very unhappy.
Bell. There is a bell, like Bell.
Yep.
And then there's Bell, Belle, who is second in command of the militia, the town militia.
Thank you for explaining that to me, Remy. Oh, yeah, sorry. Rodolphe.
No, it's Remy.
Okay.
Got it right the first time. 50% chance there. I'll answer to either, really.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind.
We keep on saying we need to tag them with different colors on the ears, but they won't let us.
Fairly
I'm not a cow.
Like,
Hallie just grins at him.
do the rest of us pick
it's
up
just a
on...
long-running joke.
Yeah. Do the rest of us pick up on Dervish's reaction to a individual named Bell? Because, like, you seem unhappy with that for some reason.
I was unhappy because he was being condescending when I asked about when I started asking the question. Everyone has been very mean to me today.
I thought this.
Unfortunately, I feel like the whole these are small town people and you are a cola splitted.
I will 100% get what is happening.
Okay, I just was making sure. I get the but I thought the Dervish even would understand that what's happening.
It's probably been a while since I've experienced this level of it.
Yeah,
the city's a slightly more accepting place. Slightly more common.
Yeah. You're more common, not necessarily more accepting.
Yeah.
I mean, different kind of accepting.
Yeah.
Yeah. You are their newest exhibit.
Yeah.
So you all sit down. Rodolph returns from his little jaunt, and you have a quick meal. Of some soup and some cheese from the basket and some of the bread that was left in the basket as well. The bread is touch stale at this point, but still totally edible, especially in the soup, which is very delicious, especially with the contribution of those beans. Those last minute beans make it really good.
I skin them real good,
Real good.
Yeah.
Real good skinning on them beans. And then you all set out for the center of town afterward. Are you taking the carriages or are you just leaving the carriages here and then walking?
I mean, it's not that far. I'm sure at this point the horses have been unhitched and are enjoying a very well-earned snack of oats.
If that's the case, I'm going to make sure to bring the weapons with me. So I'm going to, in my big tarp that's got my sword in it, I'm going to put the shotgun and the revolver as well.
Cool. As we're walking to the town, I'm going to try to grab Dervish and lag behind a bit so I can say something to him without any people hearing us, like any of the townspeople. And I'm going to kind of whisper and say, hey, Dervish, I know you feel responsible and you want to fight your sister, but if you go out there and fight her and she knows who you are and says your name, like, this could go bad. And the townspeople hear that if she comes here.
Oh, I've got the wanted posters, right?
Just knowing that you know the people who are coming to raid your town if they find out.
And that wouldn't be, I mean, it wouldn't be good for me, but it also wouldn't be good for Hallie either. That's a good point. I see what you're saying. I mean, I have to be I have to face.
No, you don't. Best thing to do is just sniper from a distance, man.
I mean, I want to be the one that's I do feel personally responsible for this. I do want to be the one that stops her, but if I have to give up that, I get what you're saying, and I will try not to let my personal vendetta overcloud my reasoning here.
Okay. So everyone has gathered at the center of town, and there's this big hubbub, right? And the bell has not yet been rung. And the mayor has come out of his home, and he's looking, kind of grumpy faced at what's going on, and he says, "What's this all now? Why are we all up in arms about everything?" And there is a young woman, tall, blonde, hair braided back into like long 2 braids, and she has a shotgun at her side, and she says, "Well, Hammond, we've been hearing that there's a couple of there's a few Colet's blooded headed this way, and that you aren't taking the threat seriously, so we got everyone together to do your job." He's like, no, it's your job. It's your job. I was just, making sure that the threat was real before I was calling everyone out of their houses. And she's like, she just gives him this look like,
y'all not get broadsheets out here?
And she turns to you, and as does, Mal Hammond.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, "And who are you?"
And I'm Hallie. I'm Salva and Almer's niece.
"Oh, you're the one that..." Okay. And Mal's like, "Now, didn't I tell you to not cause a ruckus, and that, I would ring the bell once everyone was in for the evening?" And she just, "Bell."
Did you? Thought you ring the bell. I heard the bell. Didn't you hear the bell?
I'm standing next to you, Hallie, and I heard a bell.
Did you ring the bell and forget?
And Bell she says, "Well, I'm Bell. I'm, deputy of the militia. Our leader is currently not feeling very well, so I'm in charge."
Okay, and Hallie will bring out her schematic. She's like, I sketched out some thoughts on defenses, and I think we've got enough daylight left to put some of this together. We don't know how close they are. We're not even 100% sure they're headed for this town, but they're headed for one of the towns nearby. And if they don't come at us, they're going to come at someone.
Well, then our first order of business should be getting out scouts.
You're going to be wanting to look for.
Oh.
I was going to say, we're going to be wanting to look for 3 Kolos-blooded. One of them's shaved head, scarred. Royce, do we have? You've seen the.
They've been all over the papers lately.
Yeah.
Yes. Do we have a copy of the wanted posters? No.
But was there anything?
Yeah. She just is kind of looking at you a little bit suspiciously at this point.
He's been paying attention.
Not just him, but all of you now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
Okay.
I feel like I should at this point.
Good call.
Yeah, that's probably a good call. Because she went real quick, like, wait, how do you know what exactly they look like?
There are wanted posters everywhere.
Yeah.
But she didn't know.
The wanted posters have not reached them.
Focused emotion, suspicion. I kind of forget what that is. I think it's an extra dice, right? Yeah. So, what's the challenge rating on this?
We'll
Or
say
difficulty?
2.
2? Okay.
Mostly because it's not. She doesn't have it quite built to an intense fire yet. But
there's a lot of dice.
A lot of ones. A pair of 5s.
5s, and then I get 3 nudges now.
Beautiful.
So I get the 1 plus 2 extra.
Beautiful.
Get him up.
So she just kind of like, it seems to like wash away that there's something fishy here.
Bad vibes.
Yeah, and she just kind of moves on and she says, well, yeah, so...
Yeah, and Hallie explained, we saw wanted posters on the train out, and then we were up doing our job on the slopes, and we saw fires and towns burning.
And you took a carriage back?
Well, you guys aren't on the rail line.
Yeah, so we should send riders out to the surrounding towns to make sure that they're covered as well. And we should get some scouts out to make sure to see if we can figure out who's coming or if they're coming here.
And you probably ought to get a tin eye up in that tower. Overnight, anyway.
She says, well, I don't have a tin eye around these parts, so at least not one that I know of.
We got one.
Are you a tin eye?
Hell no. I'm not an allomancer.
I'm a tin
Okay.
I was going to request to go up into the bell tower to survey.
And Mal goes, now, the only person allowed up into the bell tower is me. And Bell just looks at him and goes,
Hallie's just like, why?
because it's the mayoral duty.
I'm not
Ring
going
the
to
bell.
ring the bell.
If you want to have someone up there with him, that's fine. If you want to have someone guarding to make sure he doesn't ring the bell, then that's okay.
Or if you want to spend the night up there with me, I can tell you if I see something that requires you to ring the bell.
Royce, are you trying to persuade him to join you up there or dissuade him by being like, oh, well, you could stay up there with me all night long? Or are you trying to say oh, well, this is a magnificent duty, you should stay with me?
Or do we care which way he takes it?
I genuinely don't care which way it goes. Well, I have a slight preference for him not to be there, but I don't really care which way he goes.
Okay, so I'm going to have you roll me influence.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Right? Influence, maybe charm. Should be charm.
Charm is slightly higher. The 3.
We'll do charm.
4 instead of a 3. Okay.
We'll do charm. Mostly because I realized that I've used charm in the past for this, so we'll use charm.
What's the difficulty?
2. I was gonna say 1, but then I'm like, no, he cares about the bell too much.
He's really fond of that stupid bell.
He pretty much elected himself mayor, guys. Like,
people.
Only because he wants control of the bell.
Yeah. I'll say people give it a little bit of power, other kind of like, they like to hold on to that little bit of power, you know?
Yeah, I don't think I can add anything else to this.
Don't need to.
Beautiful. So he goes, perhaps I would be of better use elsewhere.
I lean over to Hallie and I just go, that's an overstatement.
Hallie covers a snorting laugh with her hand.
And Belle just looks at Royce and she's like, you might be my new hero. And she says, all right, you can head up to the bell tower then. Keep an eye out. How far? Oh, I don't know much about that whole Kenai business. How far can you see? Do I need to send out a scouting party?
Is this like, is there like forest nearby, or is it just flat and open as far as the eye can see?
It's mostly flat and open. It's farmland.
Okay. Then
there might be like some orchards here and there, but nothing you can't see.
Yeah. Nothing that a bell tower isn't taller than.
Yeah, okay. More eyes are always better, but if there's always a chance they'll won't notice something until too late and run directly into people.
I'll take that into consideration when I make my assignments.
And then I'll kind of lean into Royce, like, I assume you're planning on taking Ghost up there with you, right?
Of course.
So if they come in, you close that door and you barricade it, and you guys stay up there.
Very well.
And Ghost seems to just, like, appear at Royce's side.
Royce does not react to sudden appearance, but he'll just head off with Chester.
I don't know what a tactful way to like say this is, and to get her away without offending the mayor. But I think Marelyn, knowing she's not a fighter, will like try to think of a way to volunteer to keep the mayor out of trouble and like entertain him. Like, I think that's where she's thinking her strength is right now.
Soon his desire to interfere.
Yeah, and I don't know what the best way to like try to think of how I should like say this in character to get him to not be offended, but also get everyone around me like knowing what she's planning.
Ask him to like do something really irrelevant to the situation, but sounds important. Like, maybe not a tour of the town. It's probably not the best time for that. But like,
well, but a tour of the town to
survey the defenses.
Well, yeah, right. Like that could work.
Yeah.
Not that that's not happening already, right? But like that's a potential.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Any other ideas?
And then Hallie just basically takes the militia and starts helping them, showing them how to, and helping them build the defenses that she's come up with.
Yeah, and Belle is more than happy after having looked over your plans to, kind of hand that over to you. She assigned you a unit. I mean, they're farmers, right? But
Farmers with rifles, yeah.
I'll point out to Belle, like, these are Koloth-blooded folks. They do best in hand-to-hand. What we want is people stationed probably on roofs with rifles.
Like, yes. Well, and she's like, we do, at the very least, we'll have the upper hand there.
Mm.
And then, and she sends you off to do that as well. So I'm, very quickly, I want roles in the background while I'm going to start up the next portion here. But I want Grace to roll me a charm, or you can roll me a your allomantic whatever to soothe him, right? To keep him occupied. And then Hallie, I want you to roll me your wits to organize people and make sure that they are building these, various structures, barricades.
Add my mechanic in the die.
And add the 1 die for the plans that you have already created.
Ah, excellent.
What's the difficulty?
The difficulty for you, Grace, is going to be 2, and the same for you, Hallie.
All right.
I will just roll charm, I think. I have a good charm. And I might need the charges later.
Meanwhile.
Oh my goodness, that's a lot of 4s.
That's a lot of 4s, Grace.
That is.
And
good.
I'll make my roll. And
5s and 3s. What is with you with 5s and 3s, Hallie?
Your preparation is going off without a hitch thus far, and that is very good.
During all this,
Yeah,
I'm
Dervish.
going to try and
I was about to ask what you were going to do.
I want to try and position myself in... I'm probably not going to integrate myself into the militia. I'm going to see where Hallie is positioning them, and then I'm going to try and put myself in where I can, not survey, but I'm in a midpoint. So they're trying to stop the coarse-blooded from getting close, but I want to position my way where if they do, I can charge in.
Yeah. And Hallie at one point is gonna, Dervish, you put yourself on the roof like everyone else and you shoot from afar. The worst thing you can do right now is let yourself get recognized by them.
Are you there to tell him this?
I mean, Hallie is probably running around all over the place.
We're organizing and
and also she's gonna find a hat and then something that's got some floppy stuff on it and just gonna be like, dude, pull your hair back, stuff it behind your shirt, and wear this.
Okay.
So that they can't see that bright freaking red
all right,
from a mile away.
It will be dark.
I will position myself with one of the militia groups, but Hallie, I've been meaning to give you this, and I'm going to give Hallie the revolver that Leah gave me. And be like, all right, you look after this, you look after yourself, and best of luck.
Thanks. You too. And as Hallie's just kind of running around. Once she's got everyone started on their job, she's running around. And after it gets dark and it starts cooling off, at some point she's going to get some tea and bring it up to Royce and Ghost and make sure they've got some stimulants to help keep themselves awake.
Yeah, and for the most part, everyone is, doing exactly what they should. Belle seems to be watching and ordering, and she is very good and on top of things. At one point, though, Belle comes over to Dervish, as he's sat up on the roof or wherever he's been positioned. She says, So you're Kolos, blooded.
You're very observant, Belle.
I try to be. Not as good as your tin eye, I'm sure. Which is interesting. Tin eye traveling with, mechanics, but all right.
Well,
He's our accountant.
we're city folk. It's a bit different over there.
You're city folk.
Yes, I am.
So you know nothing about what's coming?
Not beyond what we've told you.
Okay. I was hoping maybe you could give us some tips or something to...
I mean, I could do that. We're a hard lot to stand up a fight, but guns, great equalizer. They might be able to take a few more shots than your traditional raiders or bandits, but they'll still go down like any other after you put a few in them. But expect them to be quick. They'll be fast. They'll try to. I mean, if they see all of this, they might just completely skip past us. Which I guess is kind of what we want.
So faster than us?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Not a horse?
Probably not a horse. They could probably give a horse a good run for its money, but I think the horse would win eventually.
Okay. All right.
Out of character, at least on a long distance, a human will outpace a horse.
That's what I had in mind as well.
Oh, yeah.
But,
Horses are sprinters. Humans are endurance.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, thanks.
No problem. And if they do get close, that's the most dangerous thing. And so I want you guys to I don't know. If they do get close, you need to make people that very loud very quickly. And I have a shotgun. I'm gonna pat it, and then I do have my sword with me, but it's still wrapped up in cloth. So if they get close, I will do what I can.
Wait, do you say that you have a sword, or are you just
I very clearly have a sword. It's very clearly.
Okay.
I have got it out of the. I've got my weapons out, and I have a big sword on my back, and my shotgun.
Says, all right. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Well, good luck.
You too.
And she just takes off to go do more.
Yeah.
And okay, Royce and Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
So Royce, you're sitting up in the bell tower with Ghost. And Ghost is, kind of perched and watching out the window.
So, in Royce's mind, he is turning this into a little bit of a tin eye lesson. Just kind of and Royce is kind of consistently doing a circuit of looking out in all directions, doing a slow pass, but just making sure he gets an eye on everything before moving on, slowly and methodically going through. Just kind of little tips and tricks of in-eye-ness.
And Ghost is listening, especially when it's when he kind of realizes what you're doing. I don't know how are you being specific and clear that it is a 10-eye lesson, or are you kind of just more nonchalant and
it's intentional, but he wouldn't have explained it. He would have just started the lesson.
Yeah, so for like the first like 15, 20 so minutes, I mean, you have, he's a 10-year-old kid. It's not, he's like, yeah, sure, like staring out the window, watching, mostly just trying to do his job. And then he realizes what's happening. It takes him a little while to catch on to the fact that he's being taught something and that you are handing him information and that he should pay attention. And then he becomes like, a cat watching their prey. Like, he watches you more than he's watching out the window. And then he looks out, and does what you tell him to and like applies it. And then goes back to watching you and how you're doing everything. And
the moment where he realizes like I do want to make eye contact with him, I was like, okay, it's like you figuring out this was a lesson was part of the lesson. So it's like you have like, okay, good on you for realizing what I'm trying to do. Because like Tanai is not just about seeing things; it's about noticing.
Yeah, and it did take him a little while. And you do realize that he is probably more adept at human behavior. Then I don't know. Wait, what is Royce's charm?
My charm is 4.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say he's probably more adept at human behavior than Royce is. He's not particularly like, I mean, obviously doesn't have a lot of money or a lot of connections or whatever, but he is really good at reading people and really good at paying attention. And so he does eventually pick up on Royce is trying to get some point across. Let's figure out what it is. And so he does figure that out. And then he hooks onto it like, just so excited to be being taught. And you have like realized and gotten the feeling that he doesn't really understand his abilities or, what being a Tenai is or anything like that. He knows that he is better at perceiving than most people, and he knows that that's probably like an allomantic, something or another, but it's not like he's ever had anyone, take enough notice in him to, be like, okay, this is what it is, this is how it works, this is, like all the finer details, he's just like I have it and I roll with it.
Yeah, he knows enough to like, I need to like buy tin and consume it to burn it, and like I can do stuff like that. But like, okay,
but he doesn't even really know that it's called a tin eye. Like he's like, like all like that basic, kind of stuff. It's like, okay, I know where this comes from. I know that like, he probably came across it like just by, what he was consuming naturally, then realized that like, oh, well, I can use this, and kind of experimented by himself, and
figured out it was tin specifically.
Yeah, specifically. And, but like, he doesn't have any formal anything or anyone that's given him any information on any of this.
Okay.
But yeah, so you would figure that out kind of the more you're around him.
Yeah, like I probably wouldn't do like the formal history lesson of allomancy quite yet, but
yeah, and that's kind of what I was wondering was like how in depth are you getting?
I love
You're
the
just
implication
getting like
that's coming. He's going to give him the full in-depth explanation of history of allomancy eventually.
Eventually, that's coming. 100%.
Yeah.
Royce would do that, but like right now, like it's Royce would like iterate like the first trick of being a Tenai. It's not about seeing everything or like perceiving everything. It's being able to pick out what's important. Like that's like the first lesson to like really, because like, and like Royce will, like, I am looking out, I am seeing the entire countryside around us. I have to see the three figures in the dark.
And Scadrial has no moon, so it's all by starlight.
All by starlight. It's, thankfully, it does not appear to be a misty night. Though that's less of an issue for us than it would be for the others.
Ghost also seems a little bit quieter than normal while he's absorbing this. Okay. Normally he's kind of a little bit more like quippy and, you know, like include me and, you know, little kid brother kind of deal. But he's quieter, more focused. And you even get the feeling that like he doesn't, with Royce having taken this note of him, he doesn't feel, not the need to prove himself, but he doesn't feel that need to like pull that attention. Right? So he's just, now that he has it, he is in it and using it. Okay, so I want you to make me an allomantic check with an extra die for the help of Ghost.
Okay, so base 4 plus 5 for Ghost, plus 6, not plus 6, plus 1 for information acquisition.
Sure.
Okay. That gets me to 6. What's the difficulty?
Difficulty is going to be 3.
Fours.
Yes.
4s. Wow, you guys are killing it tonight.
No,
Like
done
we
this
said,
well.
we got all the bad rolls out before we started rolling.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So yeah, on the horizon, I mean, it's quiet. You know, everything's kind of gone to sleep. And it's a ways off. But you see 3 larger than your typical folk moving across the land.
Towards here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because what kind of GM would I be if I didn't let you have the payoff?
The night passes peacefully.
Can I estimate like how quickly it will take them to get to outskirts of town?
They're gonna hit the outskirts of town around 2 in the morning.
Okay.
Right at that perfectly, like, everyone would be dead asleep.
Normally. But
What
never
time is
when
it
not.
currently?
Probably have about 3 hours.
Okay.
Probably, I mean, 4 hours. We'll say 4 hours.
Okay. Then, like, I do want to, like, go and alert, like, Belle and Hallie and everyone that, like, the direction they're coming from, I'm not ringing the bell.
No,
Just
because we don't want
saying
to
that.
alert
It's not your
them.
job, you know.
Oh, why would you want to alert them and the mayor and yeah, and Belle, you know, kind of nods and, you know, begins disseminating orders and alerting everyone and telling everyone
Is the bell tower attached to a building?
Yes.
Okay.
It is attached to like a kind of like meeting house.
All right. And then, so that is the roof that Hallie's going to set herself up on. Presumably there are going to be other people there, but she's just, you know, she has some guilt over what she did with Ghost earlier, and she's just like, I need to make sure he's safe. And also in the back of her mind, and, you know, Royce is going to be safe too. So
Yeah. So like go back to the top of the bell tower to keep eyes on them. Make sure they don't deviate.
Okay. Sounds good.
And presumably some of these barricades are also designed to help camouflage folks up on the roofs to make it harder to tell that there's people up there.
Yeah, made of similar materials and the like.
Someone found a big stash of roofing tile that hadn't been used yet. And
Royce, I want you to roll me a spirits roll.
oh boy.
Oh dear. Come on.
I have 6 spirit now. Like,
Oh,
they're
okay.
a decent shape.
okay, great.
Oh yeah,
Well,
you.
It's a
You're the
spirits
only
roll
one who's
3.
Okay.
Spirits roll 3.
I don't get to add anything.
Information acquisitions.
Ooh.
Because I feel like throwing you a bone.
Okay. And you said difficulty 3, so that's 7
Yes.
dice. Choose.
Do you have enough nudges?
No, that's my one nudge.
Oh yeah, because you spent them all
I
telling
spent
the
them
twins
on
apart.
telling the twins apart. I knew what I was doing. Like,
Really
I knew
important.
100%.
Really important.
I 100% knew what I was doing when I spent those nudges. I knew it was going to come back. on
Poor
me.
life choices.
I do not regret my decisions one bit. Because Royce is the person who would study the twins.
Oh,
the most.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So time rolls around, right? It's quiet, dead of night. And at the edge of the town, walking through the fields, the 3 figures kind of emerge. And Royce, you're obviously the first to see them. And then, Royce, as you're seeing them, Ghost pulls out a rifle and sets it on the edge of the bell tower.
From
Like,
He's probably a better shot than I am.
Episode.
What? Is that? Wait, really? Oh my god.
I'm like, the spirits roll is gonna be like a ghost shoots them, and then it's like we find out it was the wrong people.
No, I think the spirits roll was like, do I notice
Oh,
Ghost has a gun?
Yeah, so Natasha, did you say that's the end of the episode?
Yeah.
Damn it. Oh.
So
Time.
it is the perfect time. I support you, Natasha, 100%. At no point did anyone ask Royce if he wanted a gun. No one asked if he can
I just
shoot a gun.
assumed you couldn't. I just assumed you couldn't.
I mean, now
I assumed you could.
it's an open question now.
I haven't looked at Royce's character sheet in a while, so I actually don't know if he can shoot a gun.
I don't have any particular skills in it, but I figure Hallie at least knows how to handle one.
But Ghost has a gun.
Yeah.
yeah.
Where did it come from? Where did he hide that stupid thing?
I just love the image. It's such a good image.
Natasha, I don't know that it was ever specifically mentioned, but I'm kind of assuming Marelyn pulls Shelly into whatever, like, distract the mayor tour she has going on.
Sure. Yeah, and I'm sure I was even assuming that Jelly would probably just, like, stay at Hallie's aunt's house and, like, just exist there.
Have you guys ever seen the video where it's got like a little kid and there's like running around the garden and the mum's like, "What have you got there, Jimmy?" And he's like, "A knife!" And the kid goes, "No!" It's like that, but it's Ghost with a gun. What have you got there, Ghost? A gun!
Yeah.
How did he bring that in without any of us noticing it?
Royce left him to go talk to people.
I did.
Where did you from?
Where did you get it from?
He's
Everyone
a
has
resourceful
guns right
child.
now.
Yeah, I was going to say...
to lose
He
the baby.
steals things.
Marelyn is going going to revoke Royce's babysitting privileges.
If you find out.
Yeah.
For all we know
God.
in the future, it's just gonna be Royce found a gun.
Yeah. Oh my god. Okay. What a way to end an episode. Right. Thank you everyone for watching episode 9 of Diceborn. Don't forget about this week's giveaway. Winner will be picked next week and then announced in the next episode. Don't forget about our crafty games. Mistborn Games voucher code. We're 17 MB dice. If you buy something from mistborngames.com that's over $20 and you use 17 MB dice, you get a free set of dice. Thank you to Natasha for running this game. I cannot believe you just did that to us. I was ready to go for another hour. I was like, come on, let's get this done. Let's get this fight over with.
You give me a time limit and then you just don't expect me to stick to it? Like,
That's fair. It is past midnight. Okay. You can find the rest of us on 17shot.com for your news, theories, discussion, and fun. You can find us on Discord, Facebook, Twitter, SoundCloud, YouTube. And if you like our stuff, you can support us on Patreon. You can find the Session 0. And if I have started releasing outtakes for this series, that will also be on there. If I haven't, it's not. So don't subscribe if that's the case. Stay tuned for more and keep those dice rolling. Bye.
bye.